everyone, welcome to the first episode of Music Notes. I've always loved being around people who inspire me, those who lead and create and always put their heart into everything that they do. And I realized we have so many people like that in the Troy School District's music program. I decided to start this podcast to highlight the voices that we don't usually get to hear from. Whether you are in the music program or just stumbled upon this podcast, I hope you can find some of this inspiring, relatable, or at least entertaining. This is a chance to get to know the leaders behind the scenes. And so what a way to kick it off by starting with the Troy Athens Marching Band's own drum majors. Today we have three wonderful guests, Olivia, Sarah, and Avneet. These are the leaders that you see on the podiums, conducting and keeping the band together. There is so much more to their stories. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm Sarah. I've been in marching band for 4 years, and I've been a drum major for 2 years.
I'm Olivia. I've been in marching band for 6 years. I was in guard for 4 years, and then I was a drum major for the other 2.
I'm Avneet, and I've been in marching band for 3 years. The first 2 years, I was a part of low brass, and then last year I got the chance to be a drum major.
So let's start it off with just a general question. What made you guys want to become drum majors? Let's start with Sarah.
So my experience with marching band goes way back because my babysitter was actually in the Athens marching band. So it's always been in the back of my mind that I wanted to participate in the activity. But I really think that it started freshman year when I had leaders to look up to. The drum majors my freshman year were very talented and I admired them a lot. And just since then, it had been a dream to one day become a drum major, and I had to work very hard, but I made it. So, yeah.
What about you, Olivia?
I'd say I wanted to be a drum major my junior year, definitely, but the idea of a leadership position kind of grew with me throughout my years within the program. I had always had, like Sarah said, all of these amazing leaders who I looked up to so much. They were like my pride. I wanted to be exactly like them when I grew up. And as they graduated, less and less leaders were there, so I had to step up into those roles. And I thought that being a drum major, especially coming from a guard standpoint, would be a unique idea. And it was an interesting change. It was something better for the band instead of just better for the guard. So I wanted to really incorporate the whole band into my leadership.
What about you, Avneet?
For me, especially my freshman year, I actually did not want to join marching band at first, but it grew onto me. I decided to give it a shot, and I realized that I actually really enjoyed the activity. I made many friends, and I realized I'm not as musically inclined as others, but I can help people. I'm a very helpful person, and I feel being in a leadership position is what's better suited for me. And being drum major, like I just saw freshman year, like the drum majors we had, they were so kind. Like everyone looked up to them. We all we just knew, they knew what they were doing, and everyone, like when they looked at them, we were like, oh wow, like it would be so nice to be them, like knowing like what to do. And like it was just like I knew that like from then that's what I wanted to do, and I'd worked really hard and I got there.
So what's one moment this season that made you guys proud to be the Athens drum majors?
I think there's a lot of moments that made me proud. I think the most memorable one is when we got the whole show onto the field for the first time, because we do it in chunks. So we do like part 1 for the first part of the season, and then we add more to the show as it goes on. And that one day in October when we put the entire show on the field, it was just so invigorating, and it was so like exciting to see how the culmination of everyone's hard work was put together and created this awesome show. But I mean, there's so many more points that I was just really proud of the band.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's a specific point in the show that's like the most memorable and most important, that I'm most proud of the band. If you ever watch the videos, it's called like a hit, right in part 1, where the band takes 4 counts to turn around, and then you hear this big blast of a note, and that is probably like when I conduct, I get a little teary, and people have come up to me and been like, oh my goodness, your smile is like so big. And that's because I am genuinely so proud of everyone, and it's such an impactful note that really encompasses like, wow, we are such an amazing marching band, and we're so powerful when we all come together. So I think that that's always been a really important part of this season.
For me, I would say, again, like Sarah and Olivia said, there's many moments that have made me like very proud. One of the moments, it happens a couple of times in the season actually, is when our director will say, that was an Athens rep, or he'll be like, that wasn't an Athens rep, and let's do that again. And when everyone puts their 100% energy in, it's just so like nice to see when you're up there and everyone's focused, and then you hear like this beautiful sound. You can actually see the shapes coming together on the field, and it all just like clicks, and that like moment is so like, it's so like serene. It feels so calm, and it's just like, it makes you really proud to look at.
What would you guys say is the hardest part about being a drum major?
Oh my goodness.
Let's just preface, there's a lot of hard parts about being a drum major.
Very difficult job.
I think the hardest part for me is that everyone expects you to have all the answers, and when you don't, they get upset, which I understand. But part of being a drum major is the fact that you're a student leader and you are not an adult and you are not getting paid for your job. So when I don't have the answers, it's not any malicious intent. I just don't know. But I have to remember that these kids are looking to me for like answers, and they're not trying to be malicious about their questions either way. But yeah, when you don't have the answers for something, it can be a little tough.
Honestly, I'd say something that I've struggled with throughout my past 2 seasons would be like having that balance between, yes, this is marching band, this is something I enjoy, this is something that I love, but also, oh, this is something stressful that I have to make sure everything's running smoothly. And especially, I'm a very, I would say I'm more of a stressed out person. I'm a type A. I want everything where it needs to be. So not controlling, but running a band of 150 people, not everything's going to be the way you want it to be, and not everything's going to run perfectly smoothly. So I had to learn to be okay with, oh, this is only going to be 80% of the way there. Or, oh, this isn't going to be great, but it's going to be good and we can improve. And I still need to learn how to have fun while still being in a leadership position, which is something that took me a really long time to learn, but I'm glad that I learned it.
I would say for me, I agree with both what Sarah and Olivia said. Those are definitely the hardest things for me. But if I'm going into specifics for me this year, since it was my first year being a drum major, I would say the hardest part was getting people to respect you. I've always been like a quieter person in band, and I've never really like spoken. So when I had the chance to speak up this year, and when I was like actually like giving instructions to the band, everyone would be like, oh, like she's just a junior, what does she know, right? And that would come from like seniors too, right? And through the end of the season, like seniors started respecting people more, right? And like people were like, oh yeah, she knows what she's doing, right? But at first there was like that disconnect where it was like, oh, like it's her first year, like what does she know, right? So I think that was probably one of the challenging things, but overall, like I think it was pretty fine.
I know we definitely experienced the struggles of being younger and leading kids who were older last year. But I mean, you did a really good job. So,
kind of adding on to that, what is the biggest responsibility that people really don't know that you have?
is it bad if I say carrying the Met?
That's so real. That's so real.
The gray one specifically.
There's a
Oh my
gray
God.
all the
That-
way down to the field.
that-
So
Oh,
then
for
all the way-
band camp, it's terrible. It's like a 10-minute walk.
And there's-
somehow uphill both ways, I swear.
No, that's not the worst. Or not.
Don't you get the wagon on the way up?
We brought the wagon.
I brought a wagon
That
this
was
year.
smart. There's just so much behind the scenes that we do, like not necessarily administrative work, but very little things that people don't think about. That's what we're doing on top of leading everyone and making sure we're setting an example. So just being on like 100% of the time at school, at marching band, at home, it's mentally tiring. Yeah, that I think that's what.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I had a kind of a rough medical like summer, and it was hard to go from all of these like doctor's appointments and stuff and having to deal with all like medical things, but then going to band and putting on a smile is definitely something that you have to learn, and it takes an impact on your mental health having to always be happy. But I feel like once we got into the flow of things, especially us being our second year, we learned that yes, we need to be happy, but it's okay to not be an alien just smiling all the time. You can show emotion. So, and that's something I hope that you learn too next year.
Thank you. I would say the hardest thing behind the scenes was like when we would have meetings with our director, right? We would figure things out, but then like if something was different, right? Like this year we had a director change, right? And first of all, I just want to say like thank you, Mr. Rose. He was so helpful, so amazing. There's no words. Like he was incredible. But like people don't realize how much like work like was needed to be like said, like, oh, what are your traditions? Like, how do you guys run like the Athens marching band and stuff like that? And when people come up to you and they're just like, oh, I don't like the show, or if they're saying things like, oh, like, why is the music like this? Like, I don't like the music. It's like, sometimes you don't have a say in those things, right? Like, so when you get told about stuff you don't have a say in, people can assume that that's what you do, right? When it's not. So I would say that is one of the hardest things when it's like getting feedback, something that you like with something that you weren't involved in.
Yeah, people have an idea of what we do and think that we have more say in things that we don't have. Like picking the show, like that's not our decision. So when they come to us and complain about it, or just that may be an example, but it's hard to tell them that like, well, we didn't actually choose that. But trying to stay positive, but after that is difficult.
Sarah, you've played a variety of instruments.
Yes.
Like the flute and what was it, the horn?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say or recommend to somebody or a younger student who wants to also experiment?
I would say go for it, because I learned so much from having multiple perspectives of playing different instruments. And I think it really did help me as drum major because I was able to connect with so many more people. And I mean, I had a lot of fun learning a new instrument. Maybe that's not everyone's cup of tea, but like I love to challenge myself and try something new. So yeah, I mean, I think my advice would just be go for it.
Olivia, you've been in the band since 6th grade in color guard. What's something that you'd want to tell your 6th grade self if she was listening?
Oh my goodness. So much has changed since 6th grade. I'm like a completely different person. I don't know. I feel like I'd say one of these two things, which would be like, hey, it's okay. Like, you are a little kid right now. You don't have your life figured out, and that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to try things. It's okay to be the weird kid. And I know all of these are very cliche, but the things that I learned throughout band are life lessons that I am so incredibly grateful to have. Being able to go through all of these 6 years they shaped me into the person I am. If you met me 6 years ago, I would not be as confident. I would not be as well-spoken. I would not be a leader. But I think throughout all of these opportunities, they helped me to become the person I am today. So definitely don't be afraid to make mistakes, but also to give yourself grace. My mom used to say this thing, because I'd get really nervous before competitions. She'd say mistakes are proof that you're trying, and mistakes are proof that you care. You're nervous because you care. And that really stuck with me throughout my whole life, is that I'm nervous because I want to improve and I want to be better at this. So I think that that's something really significant.
Avni, I know that you balance dance, school, and a couple of other activities. What advice would you give to others who are also very involved like yourself?
I would say don't quit activities. My freshman year, I was balancing, we were preparing for a dance competition, and it was the peak marching band season. We were in band camp and all of these things. Don't quit just because you think you're not going to be able to do it. I would say stick it out, because one thing I've learned from being involved in multiple places is that time management is essential. And I would if I talked to myself 2 years ago, I would be what are you doing? That's too much, right? But if you learn how to plan your schedule, if you're okay, if I wake up at 8 a.m., I can study a little bit, and then I can go to dance practice, and then I'll go to band, and then I have time to chill, right? Then you can be more equipped, and you can deal with a lot of more things in life. And yeah, it is stressful, but being a part of many experiences is really fulfilling. And like Olivia said, just give yourself grace. Everyone's human. You're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna be perfect all the time. So if you're a part of a lot of things, that's okay. Just take it easy and figure out what works best for you.
One last question for all of you. What advice would you give to somebody who's wanting to become a drum major, somebody who wants to audition for the upcoming season? Sarah?
I don't know that this is really a piece of advice to apply or get the position, but if you do get the position, take care of yourself. I know that I put myself last in a lot of situations, and that was not healthy, because how you are does affect the band. So even if you think that self-care isn't important and doesn't matter, it's more important to think about other people. While that is true, it is important that you take care of yourself at the same time. And then I think something for applying or getting the position is to be humble. People don't like leaders who are arrogant and brag, and they just don't want to listen to them. So I think my piece of advice would just stay humble and work hard.
I feel my piece of advice would be that when you're applying, don't sell yourself short. Like I said, I came from the Guard, which we spin. We don't play instruments. And while I was a percussionist, I'm not the best percussionist. So I always felt really insecure about being a drum major, because I had Sarah, who is an amazing musician, by the way. She's absolutely wonderful. And then before Avneet, there was Josie, who is also an amazing musician and was a really strong leader and was the senior. So I always felt kind of third on the list. I was really insecure, and I was really afraid to make mistakes. It was definitely a struggle at first. So when whoever becomes drum major, whether you're watching right now or you never even hear this, I want you to know that even if you're not the best player, even if you don't think you have leadership qualities, even if you're a little quiet, you are still capable of so much, and you have these abilities. As long as you try, you make mistakes and learn from them, and you are authentically yourself.
Yeah, I would agree with both, like what Sarah and Olivia said already. I would say, like, my application was really fresh. Like, it was maybe like, I don't know, 8 months ago. I just be yourself. Like, I don't know, like when I was applying, like they would ask like, oh, what other extracurriculars are you in, right? Don't add stuff, don't get rid of stuff, because you just want to be who you are, right? Because at the end of the day, if you have so much going on that you can't commit to things, right? Like if you can't fully commit to being drum major, then maybe that's not for you, right? And that's okay. Maybe you can take like a smaller leadership position. And also just like give yourself grace, because if you get it or if you don't get it, it's not a reflection of who you are. It just might not be what the band needs, right? Like, let's say, for example, like for me, like I'm not the best like musician, right? And I feel like everyone like pretty much knows that, but I have more leadership qualities. So maybe the band, like let's say maybe the band next year needs like a drum major who's more musically inclined, right? Don't hold that against you, right? Because everyone has their strong suits, and just be yourself, and hopefully you'll get it, right? Yeah.
It's always good to know your limits and know what you can handle and what you can't handle. And I feel like all three of those were such wonderful pieces of advice. And thank you to all of our drum majors, Sarah, Olivia, and Avneet. I really loved hearing all of your stories and learning what it really means to be a drum major in this program from your perspectives. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did being here with them. Make sure to stick around as there's much more coming out soon. See you next time.